Hello, welcome or welcome back. Gonna play some more Vagrus. Last time, after a whole lot of pondering, I decided that I'm going to try taking both of these action quests for a little bit of starting money. I should have just enough empty space in the cargo hold and supplies to get me there. Before that, we do have the starting quest to go visit Braxius in the market district, so he can hopefully give us someone to serve as a companion. So I think I'm going to do that. Sprawling over a dozen blocks close to the city gate, the market district is a bustling, crowded place where you can buy and sell almost anything imaginable. Anyone entering the labyrinth of stores, shops, and bazaars is constantly bombarded by a wide range of strong smells and invaded by the competing shouts of peddlers and salesmen. Got a whole bunch of market options here. Let's get some rumors and news first. News and rumors here change hands just as fast as goods and wares do. That said, you will have to open your purse if you hope to hear anything new. And even then, there are no guarantees. I see. Available every 3 days. And takes 4 changers. Still pretty cheap. Let's see what kind of news this is gonna bring us. There are quite a few interesting things you pick up. Hopefully you can make good use of it. Receive news from Maharkada. And what is this? Some very old news from very far away. Oh, so it's nothing, it's literally just news. We can sell for a little bit of cash. Hidden. I was hoping for some sort of rumors. What about the Kalrish market? Kalrish market occupies several streets and a spacious plaza on the north side of the district. Though its location is fixed, its residents are anything but. Because of the nomadic lifestyle of the Kalrish, no tribe or merchant of theirs stays for long in Torzag. Yet there are always enough of them here to make good business constantly. Many of them peddling their wares literally from their backs. The Kalrish are enthusiastic hagglers and born deal makers. Okay, haven't encountered the codex entry for the Kalrish, so I do not know what exactly they are, but I assume they're not quite human. Here we can browse the goods every day. The variety and abundance of wares here are mind-boggling. What will you find today? The Kalrish nomads always have something interesting to sell. You only have time to finalize one deal before the wares change hands. Okay, so we can turn our money into goods. Bunch of obsidian. Bunch of dye. How does the price look over here? Dye is pretty cheap. Obsidian's even cheaper. So I can't really buy it here and immediately sell. Okay, I could buy golden jewelry. That doesn't take up space, so maybe that's an easier way to carry money. Maybe next time. Okay, got those. Seek out the Freelancers Guild at the local Castrum Mercenaria. You enter the fortified confines of the Castrum Mercenaria. Given that it is your first time in such a place, you ask to speak to someone in charge. Yeah, that would be good. I assume it's not technically a guild like those two factions. Instead it is something different. Takes little time to find a grizzled veteran who seems to be in charge. When you do, you ask for assistance. After you tell him that you might be interested in mercenaries for hire, the man nods curtly, embarking on something of an explanation. Oh, so this is the place where you buy the mercenaries, not where you as a mercenary get a job, okay? Then you have come to the right place. The Freelancers Guild, or Collegium Mercenaries, specializes in freelancing enterprises, operating legitimately and independently, or as much as our Imperial license allows us to. As the Questor Mercenariorum, my role is to administrate the mercenaries and lease them out to enterprising clientele. Interested? So it's gonna be maybe like fighters on a loan. Let's see. Responding in kind, you ask what kind of mercenaries are available for hire. I'm sure we'll have something to your tastes. Just let me take a look at the ledger. Oh wow, that's gonna take Dambros. Ah, interesting. From this it looks like these are sort of generic companions. Maybe sort of like placeholders that give you a little bit of buff until you find one of the unique ones that are better upgradable. Okay, first, ask the Questor about the rules related to hiring mercenaries. The Questor folds his arms and gives you a hard look. Look, the rules are simple. You can hire one mercenary at a time, no more, no less. Now, I already know what you're gonna ask, and the answer is no. We used to hire out more of our ranks to a single client until some unscrupulous types started putting together private armies. He states, eyeing you to gauge your reaction. After that was dealt with by the Senate, we had new rules to abide by, and we've adhered to these ever since. Consider our specialists as very well-trained bodyguards. That's how the powers that be allowed us to operate. Like I said, simple. You nod and ask the man how long the contracting period is for each mercenary. 1 month. Of course, you can renew their contracts, up to a maximum of 2 times, but it will cost you more each time. Alternatively, you can return to one of our headquarters. Each one has a full offering of mercenaries, and as long as you don't already have one, you can choose from what we have again. Yeah, pretty much a stopgap, if you want to have some sort of companion assistance. Okay, what about the castrum? Our chapter here has a long and storied history reaching as far back as the city's founding following the Orc War, the Quaestor affirms. While mercenaries of all breeds flock to our ranks, here in Torzak's shelter, we find ourselves serving the wealthy, among them enterprising Vagri looking for a spot of protection for other enterprising persons from around the city. You ask what kind of operations are common in the area. Given Torzak's role as a hub in Lower Terra Supra, we serve operations heading in every which direction. South along the Emperor's Road, currently obstructed by the blockade, north toward Devon, west to various military outposts, and due east to the crossroads along the Windway toward the Crimson Gate. Given the license, we do what we can to help those in need, or a reasonable amount of coin, mind. I see. Already got a whole bunch of codex entries here, along with some locations revealed. Interesting. Let's see how this works. Curt nod and a short explanation elucidate what the Collegia Mercenaries has to offer. You can only have one of the 4 available mercenaries in your employ at any given time. Mercenaries are hired for 30 days, and their employment can only be extended twice, for 30 more days each time, or you must return to Castra to hire them anew. Okay, there's Manumitaris. These sturdy warriors are great defensive fighters with the ability to be slave drivers. Yeah. So, generic companions that you get just to have these perks, okay. Kalrish, Wasteland Ranger. These nomads are versatile fighters with the ability to be a supercargo. Veteran Peltas. These ranged fighters have the ability to be a Venatoris. There's the Vocator Mortis. These necromancers can raise undead thralls and can fill the role of a spellweaver. Ah, interesting. Wait, does that mean that we can use necromancers to gain free fighters? In case we ever decide to be a fighting type of Vagrus. Very interesting. Never even thought about that. You can't exactly reach the Comitatus menu from here. Kinda wanted to see what these are. Okay, here we go. Deputies. So, supercargo, Venatoris, slave driver or spellweaver, right? Supercargo, extra cargo, plus 10 negotiate, opens at a miscellaneous equipment slot, specialist in charge of cargo trading, making beneficial deals. Getting one of these, even for a month, might be pretty nice. Venatoris, extra hunting, foraging, away, opens up an animals equipment slot. Master Hunter who organizes hunting parties from your scouts, knowledgeable in beast lore and monsters. That would also be pretty nice, but maybe I would rather fight permanent companion fill this slot. That would work better for the long run. Got a slave driver, plus 50 discipline, obviously for keeping slaves in line. Opens up a miscellaneous equipment slot, one who keeps slaves in check and deals with all their needs, as well as organizing their work. Okay, still don't know how I really feel about having a bunch of slaves. For now, I think I'm better off with workers anyway. And finally, Spellweaver opens up a sorcery equipment slot. Sorcerer who uses powerful magic to protect the Comitatus or spy for it. Alright. Let's try this again. Let's hire a Karish Wasteland Ranger for 10 bros. That is a third of what I have. I should be able to get this money back very soon. Once payment is taken care of, the selected mercenary soon joins your ranks. Take our leave. Oh, hello. You look interesting. Can I see a full body shot or something? From this angle, you kinda look like a centaur of sorts. See, you can be a supercargo deputy. Immune to being moved in combat. Tough. Evaluate 3. Engineering and persuasion. Pretty nice. Goat kick. Yeah, I was right. Or some sort of animal mutant. Okay, got the countdown here for the contract. Interesting. And because I paid up front, we don't actually have a daily upkeep. If I put you down to supercargo, okay, that's pretty nice. Okay, and at this point, if I were to buy a single slave that gets cargo up to 141, in other words, extra space. Wonderful. I can immediately trade those news for a little bit of cash. I suppose I got the money for this rumor. Would be nice if I could see which of these are actually still worth something. But oh well. For passengers, where I'm going. Okay, no more sidetracking. Let's check out Braxius' store and then be on our way. Seek out Braxius' store. The old man said he could be useful. You make your way to the part of the market district that lies just east of the Kalarish market. It takes a while to locate the statue of Mercatus overlooking a dried-up fountain carved of dark stone, but when you do find it, you can see that the shop is indeed right where Agos said it would be. Huddled between two taller, decrepit buildings, Braxius' storefront is not much to look at. Only his name is written on the stone slab above the doorway. No sign, no display, no stall, nothing. Inside is a dark little room with a dirty counter, a strange odor, nondescript trash that barely passes for wares, and a demonkin fellow fiddling absent-mindedly with some gadget. He looks up as you enter. "What can I do you for?" he says with a ghoulish grin. Can't help it. He has pointed teeth, a big nose, a crown of jagged horns that not only adorns the top of his head, also the sides of his jaws. His eyes burn with a pale orange light. He is surrounded with an almost palpable aura of nervousness. Surely, this cannot be the man you were guided to. Are you Braxius? Oh yeah, in the flesh. Braxius bows his head theatrically. You explain to him that an old wanderer called Agos told you to come to him if you wanted to find the right people for a comitatus. Braxius smiles his fiendish smile upon learning your story. Indeed, I do specialize in connecting such people. I might have someone you will find useful, and even help you in getting them to join you. And I owe Agos, so there, everybody wins. Okay, ask him who he can get and what this will cost you. Dark elves tend to be quite resourceful, just like you are, I'm sure. This fellow here is such an individual. He's called Renkailon, a scout, and a very good one at that. I was told that he is looking for a new employer, and the Vagrus such as you would be ideal for him. Perhaps he'll prove to be ideal for you, eh? Funny thing is, I was not able to dig up any dirt on him. Strange. When you ask him what you owe him for this, he simply shakes his head. Nothing. Like I said, I owe Agos, and he told me that I can pay him back by aiding people he sends to me. Odd, right? Well, not so much really. At any rate, I can arrange a meeting with Renkailon for you. Well, yeah, sure. As a fellow Dark Elf, we might hit it off right away. Minutes after you tell Braxius that you wish to meet this Renkailon, he has closed down the shop and is leading you to where you can talk to the man. You soon arrive at a stinking watering hole at the end of an alley somewhere between the market district and the undercity. The sign has a feeding carrion bird on it. Underneath, crooked letters spell out the name, the Grinding Gizzard. You find a quiet table in a corner, while Braxius gets you a couple of drinks. By the time you finish the first, a man walks up to you without making a sound and greets you. Wrapped in leather armor and worn cloth, the short dark elf stands somewhat aloof in front of you. Is that a hideous scar on his left face he is hiding? Eventually, he offers his hand as he says, almost in a whisper, "Salve, Vagrus. I heard that you were hiring people for your comitatus. I might be interested, might be. That is, of course, if you want a scout on your crew." I wouldn't say no to that, sure. Ben here has been all around the continent, working for several Vagri. He's an amazing scout and a very experienced fighter. Renkailon manages a half smile. His faintly glowing blue eyes are without pupils, so it is difficult to read him. Braxius is too kind. I try not to disappoint. And I am sure you have questions before you come to a decision. Maybe I do have a few. Renkailon bows his head. I'm all ears. You're hiding them pretty well then. Let's ask about his skills and abilities first. As we have touched upon it, I am a scout first and foremost. I can also coordinate other scouts if given the chance. So a scoutmaster. Otherwise, I am adept at not being heard and seen, as well as surviving out in the wasteland as expected. The Dark Elf smiles faintly. I can also defend myself fine when it comes to a scuffle, though being no warrior, I prefer hanging back, throwing daggers, setting traps, organizing combined attacks. Renkailon's highly recommended, Captain, Braxius chimes in. Sounds good so far. I ask about Dark Elves. Are you going to comment that I'm also one? What is there to tell? I am, well, let's just say that I am out of touch with our people, not having interacted with the Dark Elves of Everdark for decades now. Well, except for a few sporadic encounters. As for why that is, Bran shrugs apologetically. I do not wish to get into specifics. It's personal, and it won't endanger or hinder your business. I promise you it won't. Okay, my first guess is that he's some kind of exile. And the left side of his face that he's covering has some sort of brand or mark on it. We might see. Ask him why he wants to be on the road. That's how I've been ever since I left my home realm and started to roam, Bran says casually. Sometimes on my own, but mostly with others, mostly with Comitati. That is how I live, really. It just happens that for a while now, I've been hanging around the shelter, and by now, I've grown an itch to travel again. Will we travel together? Hopefully. I'm not going to ask about his past just yet. That sounds like something for later. Once I get a little more loyalty in him. That is all. Time to decide. Renkailon just smiles faintly with a curious expression. Braxius looks at you expectantly as he speaks. There's the matter of a small fee you pay to run to. It is standard procedure in these cases, Captain. Wow, 3 lirg. I don't think that amount of money is worth haggling about. Sure, let's take him on. That's great, really great. Renkailon bows his head in thanks as he pockets the coins. This sum goes towards travel gear and rations for the road ahead. Much appreciated, Vagrus. I'll meet you at the Mansio. And as far as I'm concerned, we can get the heck out of this town right away. He leaves as you down the rest of your drink. Braxius asks you to return to his shop with him. When you arrive, he turns to you. Now that the Renkailon business is taken care of, I can help you recruit another fellow. There are 2 options, in fact. Want to hear me out? Interesting. Is this assistance for free too? Unfortunately no, he says with a malicious grin. When you remind him that he was willing to fund you the first recruit for free, he shakes his head. That is not how it works, Captain. That one was much easier to arrange. These options, however, will take more effort on my part. Calling in favors, a little bribe here or there, you know, the usual. So, you will owe me for this. Still interested? Well, I think it probably wouldn't hurt to at least look. Alright, good. So, there are 2 fellows here in Torzags that I could put you in contact with. Both have their own problems, so to say, that they are trying to solve. I can, help you solve their problems for them. One, that is. I mean, I can help you with one of the 2. And you'll owe me for this. You ask him about the 2 individuals in question. One is a dwarf, the particularly nasty one. But don't you get discouraged. Given the right motivation, all that nastiness can be directed towards your foes, Captain. He's a specialist when it comes to dwarfy stuff. You know, scrounging, smuggling, hoarding, business in general. And he's connected. He knows a lot of people in low places. Heh. Demon King Pawnbroker scratches the base of a horn before going on. The other one is an orc, and a tough one. He's somewhat of a celebrity around these parts. Won a few gladiator tournaments years ago. But then he started to train folks who wanted to become warriors, rather than warrioring around himself. And I guess now he's fed up with that and wants to travel and fight again. A real champ, you know. And what exactly will I owe you for this? Braxius is silent for a moment, scratching the base of one of his horns. Nothing for a while, but then I'll turn to you with a request. This will most certainly involve extensive travel, which is amazing because you do that by default. And I swear to you that the request will be comparative in scope to the service I now provide, with getting you a great traveling companion. Do we have a deal, Captain? I don't think so. That is probably gonna be some shady shit like take this contraband to the other side of the continent, or else. I'd rather not burden myself with that. Alright, as you wish, Captain. He mock salutes you. Still, if you need to sell anything or wanna buy something later on, remember, this is a pawn shop. Oh, wait, was this a one-time only offer? Can sell some curio, gear. Oh, no, whew. We actually can come back later. That is good to know. And coming back we shall. But that requires us leaving first. Alright, Ren. Mark target, knife throw. 2 consecutive lacerating dagger throws. That's pretty nice. Furtive stab. Catrops. Oh, you're actually pretty handy in a fight. You're good at hunting, dexterous, scoutmaster, navigation, survival, acrobatic, perceptive, skulker. Ah, very interesting. You are pretty much everything I need. At this point... Oh, right. I don't have the authority to have 2 deputies. I wonder though. Only 3 in sight. And it doubled with the next step. Here you're going here. That's 1 whole movement point. It's pretty huge this early on. Okay, now nothing is gonna stop me. Taking this. Take 500 supplies to Kernakwe station. You have to pay. If you have cargo missing, it's not delivered in 14 days. The whole cargo is deemed lost and has to be reimbursed. When you say reimbursed, does that mean the regular market rate of those 500 supplies, or the amount of money that I would have gotten as a reward? We will see. Got that one going. Deliver 100 mushrooms to Kernak. Okay, I don't think I'm going to do fighting jobs, like, ever. Okay, let's get out of here. We trudge towards the city gates. You approach the mighty gates of Torzak's shelter. One can see the scorching desert sky loom above the cruel black battlements. As the comitatus takes its place in the long line at the vast gate, you notice a lean woman dressed in a bureaucrat's tunic and a cape approach one of your guards and talk to him briefly. They walk up to you soon afterward. "Apologies, Vagrus," the woman says, bowing her head politely. "I work for the Magistrate of Tax Collection." "Oh, fuck no. Anything but tax collectors, please." "No need to be alarmed. I am here to present to you an opportunity." "Yeah, that's even worse. I have a message attached to some documents that need to be delivered to Arcane to a client of ours. Should you take the message, you'll be compensated upon handing it over. What say you?" He offers you a leather document case. "Well, I say that I have no idea." Oh, here's Arcane. Not that far away, actually. However, I need to go to the opposite way first. So is this gonna be time-sensitive thing or not? Yeah, let's take it. "Thank you, Vagrus. I am sure it will be worth your time. Our client is a very resourceful man, works for a researcher of some renown. He awaits the message in the town of Arcane to the north, where he rents a small apartment above a tobacco shop on Sealthwaite Street. His name is Lavantius." With that, she hands over the leather case, bows her head, and takes her leave. You can see her approach the guards, talk to them briefly, point at you, then walk away. Probably telling them that we're on official business, but they're not gonna hinder us. After storing the case with your personal belongings, signal the comitatus to move on towards the city gate. The guards usher you through without an inspection. Yep. Now, if only I had some contraband. It would have been funny. A simple point of marching. It's gonna cost me vigor. Yeah, it does. Oh hey, I have enough fighters. For extra guards. +1 obedience, +1 morale. I really don't like morale having at a halfway point. So sure, a little bit of obedience, a little bit of morale. Okay. Now let's keep going. Wow, and I can just keep posting extra guards. No downside at all. Oh. I suppose if you're really low on vigor, you can alternate between these two. They sort of cancel each other out. Okay, almost there. Let's pay them now. I think not paying for maybe a week, week and a half. That's when they start grumbling. I'd rather not deteriorate until that point. Okay, to the way station. Turn these in. Just barely made it. Can I take... Okay, no, I don't have enough reputation tier. So I can't pick any of these. Okay, and you don't even have much in the way of supplies. And I have to buy all of these. Since I'm going back there anyway, might want to have some cargo too. If there is anything here I can sell for a profit. I'm right here, so looking at the buy here, looking at the sell. At Torsags. Well, if there is anything, it's absolutely minimal profit. Or it costs so much, like this jade. That stocking up is rather prohibitive. Let's see, anything that would be worth here. Maybe some wine? Little cheap here. Out of all of these, I think now herbs would be a safe bet. If I buy all of these supplies, that's still not gonna be enough for the return trip. It's a bit of a bummer. One more thing to worry about. Let's see, a little bit of herbs. How does the mushroom beer go again? Oh, right, it's very cheap in Torzags. Or if anything, I should have bought some over there. Sell it over here. No matter. Wine is still cheap. Cheaper than in Torzag's, actually. Sure, why not? Really need to buy everything that promises even a single changer of profit. Otherwise, things might be a little bad. Whatever. Good enough. Got a few slots open, but nothing to fill it up with. It's unfortunate. However, I really don't want to get into the habit of impulse buying, because in this game that is extremely deadly. You always need to have enough cash to buy supplies. Is there anything? Oh, doesn't look like it. Let's trade news. Gates are closed now. Is this something new? The authorities are said to have closed off the pass in the Sepis Mountains, guarded by the Twin Towers, and do not let anyone through. The reason has something to do with the strange winds. People are furious, as they had to cut journeys short and turn back. Bad for business too. So we can't really go to the south. Anything beyond the Twin Towers is currently off limits. Not that I really wanted to go there anyway, but still good to know. Okay, got some travelers. The only trouble is there's 4 of them, and they eat for supplies. So an increased consumption would make me run out of supplies faster. But I'm gonna take them anyway. Oh yeah, and I'm only partially defended because of the numbers. And I want to everyone have rations. Gonna be losing stuff, but still. It was probably my bad for not buying more supplies at Torzag's. Let's get out of here. Like so. Leave some movement points so I can send everyone. Try to gather some. Not very good odds, but still. Yeah, going half rations is going to hurt everyone. Maybe just for today, And I don't have enough fighters or extra guards, so like this. And hope for a good roll, maybe. A success. That is a half ration worth of supplies here. Let's have one full rations today. Okay, about 2 days away with 1 day's worth of supplies. And my chances keep dropping. Kinda have to do this. Have good chances here. Just 1 more day. It's 1 more day. I can try to offset the morale loss here. Extra rations. Let's do that. I'm really rolling low on foraging. That is a problem. Yeah, gonna lose 1 vigor here. I have to get into the shelter today. You reach the fortified gates of the great city. Waiting your turn in the line of chatting travelers, bleating beasts of burden, swearing loaders, exhausted slaves, decrepit pilgrims, and fellow Vagri, you are greeted gruffly by guards under the shadow of the gatehouse. Same as before. I'm not dealing with a band. I can afford the gate tax. Passengers leave. Okay, what I have now. The Golden Theory. You have undertaken a series of errands for an eccentric scholar. Gonna go to Arcane now. Is there anything I can take? There's 1 supply run for Arcane. There's another supply run for Arcane. 3rd supply run. The 4th supply run. Okay, at this point, I should also see about these factions. Okay, so how's Oko? Founded half a century ago, the Imperial trading house Oko is considered an upstart by many, but has proven to be just as powerful and ruthless as similar trade unions and organizations are. They have monopolies on obsidian and ivory, and their business keeps growing rapidly, to the horror of their competitors. so Arcane is actually one of your main bases. Associates with the Loader's Guild. Opponents with Unknown Faction, Darius Venari. Stickness. Skithickness. That's a mouthful. And adversaries with the Ratarnak. I might need to be careful with these ones. Venari is just opponents with all of them. House Venari is an old institution uniting merchants and rich aristocrats into a real economic powerhouse of the empire. They have monopolies on oil and mushrooms, but they are very prominent in other businesses as well. And their hold on mercenary companies is quite alarming to the other houses. Okay, so these two are in direct opposition. I would also lose some standing with the Ratarnox. I didn't really... Yeah, let's see how the game sees these tasks. Because I delivered it fast. Got some rewards. Here we go. Delivery time. Fast on time. Late or failed. Going on time gives +6. Is this an additional if you're fast or just 12 overall? It's probably just 12 overall. However, I don't see anywhere that I have lost any standing with opposing factions, which the faction tutorial warned us about the previous one. I suppose that only counts for adversaries. Maybe. It would be kinda nice if here, on this panel, I could see an itemized list of all the positive or negative reputations I have gained recently. That would make me a little happier. I can probably work with this. Since House Oko is adversary with the Ratarnak Alliance, I'm really sure that would cause a little drop in this one. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Yeah, House Venari sounds like a bit of a lesser evil. Deliver mushrooms. Okay, the Loader's Guild is adversaries with the Carpenter's Guild, which I have extra rep because of my background, so let's avoid the Loader's Guild, I say. which would mean nobody really hates the Church of Ashkur, so this should be a safe bet here. Okay, 18 days to deliver it. This is a pretty generous offer. Let's take that. Wait, what happened? Oh, right, can't take it because I don't have the empty space for it. I see. Let's quickly sell stuff. Really minimal profit. That. $62 consumption. That means 2 stack of 250 lasts for about 3 days and a little. I'm kinda needing a full stack here. And maybe here. So 2 full stacks give me about 8 days. That should be perfectly serviceable. Arcane is about 4 days away. And take this one too. I'm gonna leave this one free. Not gonna risk anything. Let's get some local news. Ooh, rumors. The riches of the earth, sought after in the north. What's this about? Rumors circulate that obsidian and metal are much in demand in the city of Devon due to its distance from regions where these resources can be obtained. Perhaps you could make good profit by taking advantage of this. Interesting. Devon is... which way was it again? There's... oh yeah, Devon's up here. That's kind of far. You're not taking any of these. Okay. Let's check stuff out here in the shelter a little bit more. Then I'm gonna call it a day. Fishing for news is available again. Oh, you hear a lot of things, but none of it proves to be useful. Well, it didn't work. Let's see what you have in the market. Some tent hides, some flavo crystal for 60% of the local price. The hides are at half price. Interesting. for some tribal trinkets. Really cheap. You know, sure, 40% off is usually a good enough deal. Even if I take a little bit of a loss here, I would know the market price. That's always worth something. Let's do the Daily Explorer. You are introduced to a group of mercenaries, the Dread Reavers, and their leader, Logdanar. A man with broad shoulders and a dark beard asks you to hear him out, as he has a proposition for you. I don't like being propositioned, thank you. When you comply, he tells you that he and his boys, dozen mercenaries, want to travel to the town of Lumen, where they were promised work. He would pay you handsomely to take them there. And who knows, he adds with a gap-toothed smile, there might even be work enough for both of us. My contact told me it's a pretty big job. I feel like that is code for bring me disposable people here. They would pay 7 bros for arriving. Lumen is this way. Yeah, I don't think, even though it's pretty close to Arcane, I'm not gonna go with the wastes. So, not every opportunity should be taken. To decline the offer, they will have to find their way to Lumen in some other way. Civic District. Inns in the shadows of public buildings. Now, what would we find over here? In a city of perpetual twilight, the Civic District is a welcome smudge of color and brightness. Lamps are kept lit day and night, while soft music and song can be heard from the windows of marble villas. Streets are kept relatively clean and are rarely crowded apart from seasonal festivities and holidays, which usually turn the district into a sea of people and a storm of noise. Gardens, suppose for relaxing. Arena Maximus, Dragon's Nest Inn. Bestiaris Arena, I assume for fighting beasts. Public library, infirmary. For buying medical supplies, I guess. Let's check this arena. The Bestiaris Arena is an old fighting pit walled off from the streets crossing from the Civic District to the upper Undercity. Prices are lower here, and fighters need not be accepted into the circle of gladiators. All pit fights are against monsters, beasts, and dangerous animals. All of them are messy and are considered very entertaining. Consequently, the place is usually abuzz with a very colorful crowd, as are the watering holes, stalls, and pleasure houses of the block. The stench of animal waste, urine, and sweat is almost unbearable. The arena's owner runs it almost exclusively via slave attendants who swarm the place clad in pale green tunics. Okay, not gonna fight. Let's see if the Garda lets us relax a little bit. The gardens are reputed as a place of tranquility and as a rendezvous point for lovers. Upon entering through the arch in its tall stone fence, you can see several people loitering here, most of whom are clearly here for neither tranquility nor love, but look more like some kind of gang members to you. Don't know, don't care, never seen them. Let's just take a walk. Oh, -1 movement. So we really took a walk here. The gardens are so huge, it takes quite a while to explore it. You would expect the gardens to be primarily mushrooms given the conditions of the shelter, but to your surprise, there is a lot of variety beyond those. Thorny vines engulfing areas like thick green spider webs, thickets of tree-sized fronds that undulate as if underwater, pale luminescent flowers on clearings, twisted stumps that look like grotesque tumors, and even structures of elongated trees with meaty leaves and wet mouths opening between them. Ugh. The ceiling of the cavern is lower here, and the only sources of light are crystal lamps placed quite far apart, so walking around feels like wandering in an underground jungle of sorts. Often, the only sign of civilization is the presence of the occasional overgrown stone pillar and statues. No wonder people who want privacy in a bustling city like Torzags tend to congregate here. Yet, the whole place reeks of neglect and is widely overgrown. Okay, if I had Herblore, I could appreciate the plants. But not this time. Okay, and that is the end of my time today. Hope you're still with me on this adventure. If you like it so far, please leave the video a like, or share your thoughts in the comments. Next time, I'm gonna move up to Arcane. Staying on the road, so it's gonna be a little bit of a detour. Okay, if the shelter and the way station are 4 days, then perhaps this stretch of road is also gonna be 4 days. And maybe 1 or 2 extra. I suppose this is some sort of dirt road. That might not give as much of a move bonus as the Emperor's Road. But still, if nothing unexpected happens, I should be able to get to Arcane. Which is a town rather than a city, so... Well, I don't have space for the supplies. Yeah, I could sell the Flavo crystals right away. And with the average price that I bought, that is still a bit of profit. Or I could keep it and see if I get a better price. Yeah, I think I'll do that. No need to overcomplicate things at this stage of the game. So, I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, safe travels, Vagrus.